Hello and welcome to the Sacred Rainbow Current Global Online Summit, bringing together the multifaceted custodians of our planet and humanity to reveal deep truths, wisdom, and tools to enable the guardianship of our planet for the future generations. Sacred protection, connection, and the holding of our earthly and cosmic light portals is potent to humanity's highest timeline ascension. My name is Kerry Bridget McCrory, and I am your summit host and creator, airing from the Valley of Cunniglen in the central Sperrin Mountains of Northern Ireland, Éirú. My mountain is called Spatnaduya, and my river is the little tributaries that flow from the mountain into the burn into the valley below. Today, I am absolutely thrilled to introduce everybody to Jeralyn Glass from the landscapes of Los Angeles. Would you like to say hello, Jeralyn?
Hi, Carrie, and hi, everyone. I'm really delighted to be here. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Our topic is Sacred Vibrations, the Transformative Power of Crystalline Sound and Music. Jeralyn Glass is an internationally acclaimed singer, musician, Hay House author, and leader in the field of sound healing who has been sharing the gift of music and medicine with the world for decades. She began her career on Broadway and has sung on opera and concert stages around the globe. Jeralyn offers a unique alchemical blend of music, meditation, and high vibrational sound, merging quantum science, bioener- bioenergetics, and crystalline singing bowls. Jeralyn helps people facilitate healing and transformation with the power of music and sacred frequencies that nourish our bodies, connect us with our hearts, and awaken our consciousness. She created the Sacred Science of Sound educational platform with its app source, Be Inspired, and the Crystal Cadence Sound Healing Studio, which houses one of the largest displays of alchemy bowls for purchase. She personally curates your singing bowl sets, and she offers her internationally acclaimed Sacred Science of Sound crystal alchemy trainings with over 120 hours of instruction. She is author of The Sacred Vibrations, The Transformative Power of Crystalline Sound and Music, and the Crystal Sound Healing Oracle. Jeralyn's music is available at crystalcadence.com, on all streaming platforms, on Insight Timer, on Humanity Stream and Library, and on the Crystal Cadence YouTube channel, where you can find a large free library of crystalline sound healing meditations and music. And I intend to be making use of that, Jeralyn. Thank you so much. Thank
Wonderful.
you.
Yes, it's important that music is available to everybody because music can be such a healing modality.
Yes, definitely. It definitely is. Oh, now how has having a long established career in music made a difference in your work with the singing bowls?
Mm. I think, Carrie, it's very, very important to integrate a sacred structure into sound so that when we're working with sound healing, because some of the instruments are such that really anyone can play them. You can tap a bowl. You don't have to have studied years and years the piano or the flute or whatever. Most people can learn to play the singing bowls. But the important thing is using the structure of music, which creates sacred intervals. It creates a container where we can drop in and breathe and feel and heal. And it's not random. I think that's the important thing that I've learned being a musician all my professional life. I've never done anything else since I'm 19. Um, Music is a powerful, powerful medium. And I think it's important, especially when we're working with healing, that I can take the structure and the all the performance experiences and all I know in my own physical body about sound and music and integrate them to make the most beautiful sound healing experience for people that I can. So it's not discordant, it's not aggressive. It's working in a very sacred way to help people to breathe and feel things that perhaps might have been buried, things that perhaps we forgot about. You know, music has the way to suddenly bring us to tears, to suddenly make us want to just get up and dance, to suddenly bring us to a very place of stillness or quiet. So I feel very, very strongly. I've been a professor of music, I guess, how many years now? Oh my gosh, since 2006. So it's very important to me that there's an integral structure in what is happening when we use sound and music as a medicine.
Yes, it's music is so powerful. And it can hit you in just unexpected places. It can touch you in a way that nothing else touches you.
Yeah.
Um,
And if you want me to give you an example, I'll show you what I mean because I feel like this is quite important. So, for example, if I would play this, it doesn't sound so nice. Or if I would play this, I don't think, Carrie, that you're going to feel like, oh, I trust Jeralyn and I'm going to, relax. If you would hear this, it's a whole different thing than if you hear this. You see what I mean? Or if you hear this. Can you feel the difference?
yes, very much so. Very, very
And I
much
feel
so.
very strongly because I've gone through a long journey of grief. I feel very, just like there's no. So, for example, if I play this, you feel like you can deeply relax. But if I would play this, it's a different thing, right? And just to explain it more, like if somebody said to me, "Okay, Jeralyn, we're gonna help you land in your grief, and we're gonna help you work with that," and they play those kind of discordant sounds, I would say no, that doesn't feel good to me because I'm very much in a very vulnerable state, right? But if I played the still playing. If I played the coherent sounds that I played for you, then the body begins to relax, you begin to feel safe, and then suddenly you're able to breathe and feel things that perhaps you wouldn't have been able to before. That's been my experience with my own journey, and then with a journeying with cancer patients, hospice patients, veterans, children with anxiety, Parkinson's patients. Like if I can create that safe container with the structure of music, which I know so well, then miracles really happen as they happened in my own life.
Yes, Geraldine, you have like that orchestra of the angels vibration running through you.
Yeah.
And it's probably it's like a gift you have within you, and it's probably something that has always been in you, but it's been multiplied by a million because of the intense experience you had. And I'm a bit like yourself. I had something unexpected happen in my own life where I had a loss that I didn't expect to have. And I remember, maybe 6 years after that, 6 or 7 years, being in a lady's living room, and she played a piece of music. And whenever she played this piece of music, it was like it was like there had been a dam inside the heart, and just through these words and this music, this dam just, and the water came rushing out. And music is, I'm a massage therapist as well, and I feel that music, it's it's so powerful, what you bring to people through
Yeah,
this.
I mean, I'm sure you have experienced in your long years in your profession that when you go into certain areas of people's bodies, you can feel, there's something in there. Or if somebody says to you, I have a pain in my left shoulder, often that has to do with grief that we're holding behind the heart, for example. And there's so many things, as you know, in your life that we can't really put into words. So, what Carrie is referring to is that 9 years ago, I lost my only child, and he was 19 years old. And, as a parent, it's unexpected. This was very unexpected. And you land in this place of shock and can't be my child, can't be my life, not how we imagined it. And yet, death is boom, on this physical plane, it's finished. Now, what I came to understand is that it's not finished, and big time it's not finished. There's a whole stream of communications and connection with my son, and I've come to really, really know that love is eternal. And that's what the book Sacred Vibrations, that's threaded throughout the book as we journey and explore sound. But it's that this skin and bones and everything that we are in this physical form, that we're so much more than that. And we come from sound vibration, we come from energy, and then we return there. And so that connection, that bridge to keep us journeying together, for me, has been sound vibration. It has been that energy, that sound and music, right? And what you were just describing, hearing that music playing, and it embraces you in a way that you just feel safe, and then you can have all your feelings. I was doing talk therapy after my son died. His name is Dylan, which means born of the sea. And I was trying sometimes to go 3 times a week, 2 hours a session, but I couldn't get to the depth I needed to get to through words. So, like, back to what I started to say, like, if you're going into somebody's body and you feel a tightness, and it might just be a physical strain of the muscles or whatever, but it might also be a place where there's been a deep wounding in there. And there's an energetic that's being held in there. And how do I help the person, first of all, to feel safe? Second of all, to just drop in and be able to breathe and feel it. And then to have the strength to let it go. That's the parts of healing that I think are miraculous. And I know that I'm just so grateful for. But we need the safety, because when a trauma or a grief or an illness happened, we do an energetic go around, right? You know that from your profession. And it's too big for us to really breathe and feel in the moment. So the body tightens here, or it holds something here. And what else is so interesting is that, like with me and my son, it wasn't always necessarily my heart. So the other thing that I find so fascinating is, you may have a big story of grief, but you might be holding it in your body, in your root chakra. You may be holding it in your right foot. So it's not ever one to one. And I think music gives us that ability to be received by the whole being. And so suddenly you're feeling a pain in your right foot, and actually that's really connected to your heart. And I think this is the magic and the wonder and the whole discovery of what feels healing to me. It's not a one size fits all. Give you that pill, or I'll do my technique in that way, or I'm going to play you that F bowl because that goes with the heart and that'll do it. No, being a human being it's complex, it's rich. We have so many things that are tucked away, then they come to be expressed, or then they're tucked away again, because they're big things that we go through being human beings.
Yes, that's incredible. Just that understanding of, it's like how the elements work and live inside us, and how they get trapped, and how that release, and you're so right, like nobody can release unless they're in a safe place, you know. So what inspired this journey of service with the crystal singing bowls?
As you know, what you do in your profession and what you're doing with the summit, this is service. This is sharing information with people that, you feel is very important, that I feel is very important. And so I've always felt as a singer that my instrument, which is I've come to learn is crystalline in nature, my bones and blood. There's a structure in each of us that is crystalline in nature, which is why the singing bowls are so easily absorbed by us. But I feel like there's an aspect of giving and being in service to people with a higher understanding of what's possible. And I feel like so much of our lives have become, they're very fast paced, and there's a focus on all kinds of things that are not necessarily connected to the heart. And I feel that music, certainly what you're doing, carry a human touch, is very heart connected, and we don't want to lose that in our age of technology and now AI and all our social media. We don't want to lose that connection of human being to human being, and for me, that's service. I mean, yes, there can be an energetic exchange. This costs this service, but that energetic of gratitude, of compassion, of kindness, that's all part of the vibrational frequency of love. And I think this kind of where there's an angel perch on your shoulder, you mentioned the angels before, that's just wanting to give particular light to that particular person. Or if I'm playing a sound bath for hundreds and hundreds of people, what am I infusing into my orchestra that can be of service to people? That also, I think you've probably experienced, like, sometimes if I know that I'm doing the right thing, I'm in integrity, I'm working, as I explained, with a certain structure with the singing bowls, I know that what I'm doing here in my own life, in my little place in California, that may very well, that energy may cross the ocean and touch somebody in Germany, or it may touch somebody in Ireland, because we are all connected. We are all vibratory beings. And just this element brings love into the picture. And in my experience, we don't heal, we don't transform without that energetic of love, and without finding that place of love within each of ourselves. How can I was just thinking, like, 2 days ago, I was really frustrated with myself, and I was disappointed that I didn't do something in a certain way. And then it was just like, will you please give yourself a break? Like, come back to that place of love and respect and care for yourself, and then you do it, the way you wanted to do it next time, right? I think we always have to return to love and gratitude, because that's at the core of what we're talking about, of healing and transformation, about connecting to the angelic realm. We have to have that openness, that tuning of our hearts, that tunes us to the vibrational frequency of love, and service is a part of that. Does that make sense?
It does. And that we have to be gentle on ourselves, like you said, that this, so I suppose people find it easier to maybe shut their hearts and not feel. This is such a massive, massive thing that we don't feel. Or maybe some people, like, they go down the route of, like, medication, or we've just numbed ourselves.
Yeah.
We're just so numb, but, like, you have to feel it to heal it. Yeah, it's part of the process. And like you say, it is such a beautiful thing to work in an environment that you love, be it with your hands, be it with your heart through your music. It's just such an honor to do that for people. It's
Yeah.
beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, How would you encourage people to incorporate healing sound in their daily lives?
So, the very, very, very first thing is to recognize I'm this crystalline instrument. I'm a vibratory instrument, and there's no one in the world that has my vibrational signature. There's no one in the world that has my unique sound, right? So each of us are very special instruments in this whole orchestra of life, right? So if I first come from that point, then I say everybody can hum, okay? Everybody can go, somebody might go, a child might go, okay? So it doesn't matter if it's a low tone, a medium tone, or a high tone. But the first core instrument where we can help to tune ourselves is our own voice. And I would encourage people to do that every day. So for me, under the shower every morning or evening, I'll do a, kind of like a siren. I'll go, mm-hmm. So I'll either start from the bottom and siren my way up, or I'll start from the top and siren my way down. But what I'm doing, Carrie, is I'm moving a kind of vocal energy through my own system that helps to tune me, right? So that's one thing that people can do. It doesn't cost anything, and it's your own instrument. You taking your power, and the idea that if I'm comprised of strings and I am truly a vibrating string instrument, I do need to tune myself, right? We get out of tune. So how do we do that? That's one way. So for example, if I maybe I'm feeling a pain in my low back, okay, so I'll put a hand on the right side of my low back, and then maybe I'll put a hand on my heart, and I'll just imagine a breath connection between those two areas. So I'm just imagining, invite you all to join me to connect your low back with your heart just through your breath. And I like to breathe in through my nose and out through my mouth. And again, connecting my low back to my heart, I breathe in through my nose and release out my mouth. So first I create the connection to 2 points on my body, and then I'm going to bring my own sound and connect those with my sound. So I'm going to imagine my sound beginning in my low back. So I can feel, I don't know what each of you are feeling, but I can feel a true vibration in my chest and in my low back. Carrie, what did you feel?
I was feeling like a tingling around here.
Okay, so see, it's going to be different for everybody. And how did that tingling around you feel?
Like fresh.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's the only word I can really use to describe it. Like a fresh,
Mm-hmm.
like a
So what you were doing when you say fresh, I'm going to interpret that to mean like an animation, like every cell of you was getting animated and it felt fresh. Could you feel the connection between the low back and the heart? Could you feel them being like a bridge between them, being connected?
stillness in the heart.
Mm-hmm. Because it's important, again, when we talk about tuning our human instrument, do I tune, my jaw on the left side? Am I tuning my headache? Am I tuning? It's important that we can imagine the concept. For me, what I just explained to you is, let's connect the low back to the heart. Okay. Whether, how do you do that? For me, it's an imagination. And since my low back is lower than my heart, I started with and finding a tone that feels like it matches that other area, my heart area. But again, this is very individualized. So that's one thing people can do, is just to activate the vibration of their own body. And again, if you want to connect 2 points, great, you can move the sound like that. Another thing is we created a YouTube channel called Crystal Cadence by Jeralyn Glass, and on that YouTube channel are hundreds of free meditations. There are two 2-hour loops. One is working especially with bringing balance to the body's chemistry, and one is more in alignment of the whole energy centers of the body. And then there's a third one that just released in August that's a sleep meditation, also 2-hour loop. So there's those, and then a number of years ago I started a meditations on Tuesdays called Tune Up Tuesdays. So there's a whole array of those. And then there's music with singing. So there's all kinds of things that are simply free on the YouTube channel for people to explore. And my son felt really strongly from his angelic place, like, Mom, we got to make this available for people. And so what else we did was we created an app. So we created this app called Source Be Inspired. And on it, there's all kinds of stuff for including sound in your daily life and music as medicine. So there's famous neuroscientist Dr. Daniel Levitin, there's sound baths, there's musicians that share, there's Dr. Sue Morter, a pioneer in bioenergetics. So it's like, how do we learn about the science of sound, and at the same time, how do we just lay back and enjoy and receive the healing power of sound? So, and there's a couple of lullabies for children that are really great. And then I also made these 2 albums, which have just released in the summer. The bottom one is a song called Joy Reboot, and that's based on the Ninth Symphony of Beethoven, the theme. Da da dee da 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 da. So it's based on that theme, and I've rewritten the lyrics and really infused in that singing bowls and different artists that we've all brought together to really unite humanity through sound and music, and to uplift our spirits and our hearts. And then the other album is called Pentatonic Visions, and that's a 90-minute album of just deep layers of the power of the pentatonic scale. So those are a few things that you can integrate in your daily life, because I do feel that for many of us, we can't just go to a doctor, because there's stuff going on that I don't know that there's, like, I went to a doctor. I went to 3 doctors after my son died, but all 3 of them wanted to put me on antidepressants. And it was like, no, that's not my path, because I knew that if I took pills like that, I might feel better in the moment, but pretty soon I wasn't going to be feeling anything at all. And for me, I knew that numbing my feelings, which were insanely intense, that wasn't the answer. I knew that whether I say God or I was being called to land in something that was so huge that I just said, no, I don't want any part of it. But it was like, Carrie, what do you do? That's what happens in your life, right? So do you go no and run away and, soothe over it with drugs or alcohol or pills or whatever? Or do you go, okay, this is huge. This is huge, and there's no path for me through this. I didn't know how to negotiate grief. I had, as a child, I had lost my great-grandparents, my grandparents, but this was something completely different. This was the unexpected timing of things that a child goes before a parent. So it's like, okay, I have to navigate on my own, and no pill is going to tell me how to do it. I need to take the empowerment back for myself, and I need to guide myself. I need to find my way. And I think this is the beauty in life also, that if we can come home and trust, I am the instrument. Yes, I have dear friends. Yes, I perhaps get help from spirit. Perhaps I consult with a medical doctor just to make sure there's nothing really physically wrong. But if we're talking about emotional healing, for me, music became that thing. And which is why the free YouTube channel, which is why the music, and we make all the music and meditations available also on our website, Crystal Cadence. They're all on all the streaming platforms. But it's like, what would happen if I just took 90 minutes of the Pentatonic Visions album, and I just lay down and close my eyes, or you used it during a massage for a client. Like, what happens for people when those integral sounds that are built on the structure of music are really integrated into a session, or just integrated as you fall asleep? I believe from my own experience and what I've seen with all my clients and students all around the world, music can help us heal. There's no question. I wouldn't be sitting here talking to you if I hadn't used the power of the bowls to help me move through my grief. There would be no way. I would still be in my bed in agony, or I wouldn't be here anymore. You know, it's that big. And so this too, the book that I wrote, it's really about what is this power of sound? Give me some of the science behind it, give me some of the history behind it, and then what's the practical use of it? And then it's interwoven with stories of the communication with my son, and then experiences that I myself and then many of my practitioners around the world have had with clients and patients. So it's like, okay, this can really, yeah, this can really be a thing that totally can help all of us. You know, going back to this concept of service. And then we also created this card deck, which is so fun, and it's definitely it's from Hay House also. And the fun thing about the card deck, it's an oracle deck, like an angel card deck, but instead it uses sound. And so on each of the cards, there's a QR code, and so you can put your phone on the QR code and hear the sound of your card. So they're all done with beautiful watercolors
That's
and
amazing.
images of sacred geometry. And my son motivated that too. It was like, Mom, you know, we have to get things like the app and the card deck in people's back pocket, because as we said earlier, you know, most people are on some kind of device, and we're moving fast. We're connecting with social media. We're out in the world, and we are moving fast. And it's like, okay, let me take a card and let me slow down for 1 minute and just come and nurture myself with that place of peace. And I think if we can integrate those places of respite, those places of stillness, what you described before when I had you do the exercise, just this and then kind of a stillness in your heart. If we can integrate our daily lives with moments like that, I think it's going to be, I mean, I know that it works to help up level us, bring us grounded, and connect us.
Yeah. And definitely sound opens a gateway. That's the way that I would describe it. Because I remember back in 2011, whenever I was coming home from work, and instead of listening to news or anything, you know, the way like media can drag you down, while I was in the car, it would have been quiet. But you know, the way you do the AEI, the sounds. And I remember myself doing the sounds and just, you know, or what, you know, doing like the vowel sounds.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember, you know, when I think back to that period, it was like some sort of door opened and a lot of things started to be able to be received. And so that the power of the sound reverberating through your every cell of your body, it's just it's just so incredible. And like, I think Dylan is so cool to get you to do that app. Because
Yeah,
it's
he's he was a big, strong, funny boy, and that hasn't changed. He's a big, strong, funny angel, you know.
uh-huh.
So if you're okay, I'd love to just play a short little meditation that people can really experience what the
That'll be
sound
lovely.
is.
That'll be
Hmm.
beautiful.
So it's just a excuse me, an invitation to close your eyes and allow your breath to slow down. And then to breathe and feel what is up for you. What's been on your mind? Is there a particular thing that would like to transform? And just focus on bringing loving presence right now to your body, as you let yourself ground and open and deeply relax to the sounds of the crystalline singing bowls. And gently rubbing the palms of your hands together to generate heat. And perhaps you place one on your heart, one on your low abdomen. Perhaps you place them over your eyes, whatever feels good to you. And feel that energy and that light that you are, that electrical current that you are, unique in all of time. Feel your being filled with light and love from the sound that you just experienced. And allow yourself to sigh. And then gently stretching and opening your eyes.
Just absolutely beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous. And I got so deeply relaxed. I thought I was going to nod off. I was like, don't be nodding off. You have an interview.
It's so important for all of us now. So I hope that this has helped your listeners, and it's my great joy to share, and that you'll find some comfort if you look for the app or you look for our music, or if you go to the YouTube channel, whatever it is that you are guided to, if you read the book. In the book, I was very proud also to put, we have, whether you buy the downloadable version or the actual physical book, on page 233, we also implemented a QR code in there, and that QR code leads you to some beautiful pieces to listen to and a wonderful 20-minute film that's very, very special. So, as you can see, I'm so committed to sharing and so passionate about helping all of us to heal and transform through sound and music, because that is a medium that everyone can access, right? And it's, yeah, it is a good thing. There are no side effects that are negative. Sound is really a medicine that just holds us like that. And as you said, you know, we can feel and then we can heal. So thank you for including me on your summit, and very nice to be with everybody. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jeralyn. And I want to mention before you go, Jeralyn, about your free gift. Jeralyn has gifted us a very special meditation and bowl performance. And this will be below on the speaker page with all of Jeralyn's links and details, so you can check everything out and really use this beautiful tool that has been gifted to humanity from a higher realm. So thank you so much, and thank you to all the listeners who have been with us today as well. Thank you, Jeralyn.
Many blessings.